On the night of November 4 to 5, 2025, the thermal power plant in the Russian city of Orel was struck once again by missile fire, marking another significant blow to regional energy infrastructure. The attack is part of ongoing Ukrainian operations targeting Russian energy and military logistics. The strike caused damage to critical power supply equipment at the plant, which provides approximately 40% of the electricity and 65% of heating for the Orel region. As a result, residents experienced power outages and heating disruptions. Emergency services were quickly deployed to assess and repair the damage, with no casualties reported so far. Notably, Russian monitoring channels reportedly failed to record the missile flights toward Orel, underscoring potential gaps in Russia's missile detection and air defense systems surrounding the city. This latest hit follows a series of drone and missile attacks in recent months aimed at debilitating Russian military supply chains. In the Dnieper region, Russian forces have repeatedly targeted civilian and military infrastructure, including residential cabins and energy facilities. Russian missile and drone strikes have caused significant damage to private property and power grids, affecting towns such as Dnipro, Kamyanske, and Kryvyi Rih. These attacks often result in fires and power outages, complicating life for civilians and the local military presence alike. Combat losses have also been substantial. Over the past several months, more than 10 Ukrainian pilots have been lost, including those flying F-16 jets acquired from Western allies. These losses reflect the high-risk environment in the skies over the conflict zone, where air defense and counter-air operations are intense. The summer season has seen sustained combat activity on both the outskirts and centers of villages and towns, with artillery shelling, drone attacks, and attempts by Russian forces to advance and control strategic points. Despite ongoing Ukrainian resistance, the situation remains dangerous and fluid. In Dobropilya, after a Russian airstrike, a man was trapped under the rubble of a partially destroyed 5-story residential building, according to the State Emergency Service, DSNS. Despite the constant threat of repeated enemy shelling, emergency responders worked with utmost caution. They found the injured man among the debris on the third-floor level, freed him, provided first aid, and handed him over to paramedics. Temple of the Protection of the Mother of God. After military shelling. Experienced military correspondent Julia Kirienko recently reported from a frontline city facing intense Russian pressure. She described a dire situation where Russian forces have advanced, positioning snipers on elevated ground to block the movement of Ukrainian stormtroopers. Despite Ukrainian forces controlling nearby wells and pipelines just outside the city, they are losing control of the city itself. Kirienko highlighted that the worst impact is on civilians trapped on the outskirts with no means of escape. Important decisions regarding their safety were delayed, contributing to the tragic outcomes. She emphasized that such circumstances prevent any real progress in the conflict from being judged. On November 3 to 4, 2025, Russian forces made advances in several strategic locations in eastern Ukraine. According to Deep State, a Ukrainian military analyst group, enemy troops advanced in Pokrovsk city itself, and nearby settlements, including Kozatska, also known as Moskovska, and Kharkivka, in Donetsk Oblast, as well as Borivska and Andriivka in Kharkiv Oblast. Pokrovsk remains a critical logistics and transportation hub for eastern Ukraine, making it a major focus of fierce fighting. Russian units have been attempting to expand their foothold in the city and its outskirts, despite suffering heavy casualties. Ukrainian forces, including special operations and intelligence units, continue to resist, aiming to prevent the occupiers from gaining fire superiority over vital supply routes. A photo published by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, showing National Guard soldiers standing in front of symbols resembling those of the Nazi SS Reich Division, 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich, has caused controversy and discussions among observers. The image reportedly shows soldiers of the 4th Rapid Reaction Brigade of the National Guard near Mirnograd, Green City. In one photo, a soldier is positioned in front of a flag featuring an emblem closely resembling the insignia used by the 2nd SS Panzer Division, a notorious Nazi Germany Waffen-SS tank division active during World War II. The 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich, was formed in October 1939, combining elements from the SS and known for its involvement in brutal war crimes on the Eastern Front. While some see the presence of these symbols in contemporary Ukrainian units as concerning, Ukrainian officials maintain that these appearances are either inadvertent or manipulated by adversarial propaganda. There have also been photos published by Zelensky's office showing Ukrainian troops symbolically attacking Nazis, depicted with SS emblems on their helmets, intended as anti-fascist messaging. Massive Russian missile and drone attack on Ukraine, repelled by Ukrainian air defenses. On the night of November 3, entering the 4th of November 2025, Russian forces launched a major combined missile and drone strike against Ukraine. The attack involved a single Iskander-M ballistic missile fired from Rostov region, 6 S-300 guided surface-to-air missiles from Kursk region, and around 130 attack drones of various types, including Iranian-designed Shahed and Gerbera drones. The drones were deployed from multiple directions, including Kursk, Orel, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, Russia, and Chauda, in the temporarily occupied region of Crimea. Approximately 80 of the drones were Shaheds. Ukrainian air defenses, supported by aviation, missile units, electronic warfare teams, unmanned systems, and mobile fire groups, actively engaged the incoming wave, successfully shooting down or disrupting 92 of the attacking drones as of 9 a.m. on November 4. Missile impacts and drone strikes were confirmed at 14 locations throughout northern, southern, and eastern Ukraine. At these sites, 31 attack drones successfully hit targets, while the air defense continues to counter remaining drones still active in Ukrainian airspace. The ongoing series of missile and drone strikes demonstrates the high level of intensity and scale of the conflict in this phase, with Russia continuing to saturate Ukrainian defenses in attempts to disrupt energy infrastructure, military logistics, and key urban centers. Previous strikes in this campaign have caused damage to energy facilities and civilian areas, resulting in casualties and temporary outages. The ongoing conflict near Orel continues, with Ukrainian drone attacks met by effective Russian air defenses. According to Governor Andrei Klitschkov, Russian PVO forces successfully destroyed several Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicles, BPLA, targeting the Orel region. During recent attacks, several drones were intercepted, causing debris to fall on parts of the city. As a result, several private houses and farm buildings were damaged. Fortunately, no injured persons have been reported so far. Emergency services and law enforcement officials are actively working at the sites of debris impact to investigate and manage the damage. Russian Telegram channels and local authorities have published footage and reports indicating PVO systems effectively hitting Ukrainian aerial targets. The regional governor emphasized that these defensive actions helped minimize damage and casualties. The attack forms part of continued Ukrainian efforts to disrupt Russian logistics and military infrastructure in the Orel region. Previous strikes notably damaged the local thermal power plant, causing temporary blackouts and heating outages in parts of the city. Authorities have since worked on repairs and restoring utilities. ASIO warns of Russian intelligence targeting Ukraine supporters in Australia. Australia's domestic intelligence agency, the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, ASIO, has issued a warning that Russian intelligence operatives are actively targeting individuals and groups supportive of Ukraine within Australia. This warning was highlighted during the 2025 Lowy Lecture by ASIO Director General Mike Burgess. Burgess emphasized that foreign regimes, including Russia, conduct covert campaigns to sow discord and manipulate public opinion in Western democracies. In Australia, ASIO uncovered activities by pro-Russian influencers linked to offshore media organizations, disseminating divisive propaganda, justifying Russia's invasion of Ukraine and criticizing Australia's support for Kyiv. Russian-affiliated operatives have been found to amplify polarizing commentary on contentious social issues, such as immigration protests and pro-Palestinian demonstrations, aiming to inflame tensions and destabilize communities. These efforts are part of a broader strategy to undermine trust in government institutions and foster social division. ASIO's investigation is ongoing, and the agency cooperates closely with law enforcement to determine if any laws have been broken. The intelligence chief warned that the tactics employed by these state-sanctioned actors represent a serious threat to Australia's social cohesion and national security.